Well, hey there, I'm Emma from mmmEnglish. These little but very common words can cause English learners quite a few headaches. They're very similar in meaning, but they're not used in the same way. It's easy to confuse them. So this lesson is going to be short and sweet, but we are going to get to the bottom of this. Confusing the words good and well is a really common English error. Now, there are some clear rules that can help you to use them correctly, but there are also some exceptions to the rules, which probably leave you feeling a little bit confused. The most helpful thing to keep in mind is that good is an adjective and well is an adverb. They're two different parts of speech. A quick reminder, adjectives can modify nouns or tell us more information about a noun. So good modifies a noun. Something can be good. A good kid, a good afternoon, a good night's sleep, all of these things. Now, as an adverb, well modifies a verb. An action can be done well. Right? She swims well for her age. We have eaten well. In both these examples, well is modifying the verb. Now, 9 times out of 10, most of the time, the question you need to ask yourself is, am I modifying a noun or an action? And this will help you to make the correct choice between good and well. Sweet. But now I have to mention a significant exception to this rule, that good is the adjective and well is the adverb. Because when you're talking about health, the quality of someone's health, well can be used as an adjective too. So if someone is well, it means they're healthy. My brother is safe and well. Is your mother well enough to travel? All good? Well can be an adjective when you're talking about health. Okay, are you ready for another exception? We can actually use good with some non-action verbs like be, look, seem, and feel. These are stative verbs. So we do that when we're connecting a subject to an adjective. We can say, don't worry, everything's good. Everything is good. This book is good. The children are good, right? I feel good today. The new office seems good. The hotel you're staying in looks so good, right? So here we can use good with a non-action verb. The last little exception or rule to remember is that good can be used with the verb do when good is a noun, when you're talking about morally correct behavior. Some people volunteer to do good within their local community. They help others. This is to do good. Now, word order is really important to get these words right in your sentence because they're different types of words. They are treated differently in our sentence. It's a really common mistake to say, Sarah plays well football. The adverb doesn't usually go between the verb and the object. It goes after the object, right? It's something to keep in mind. Sarah plays football well. All right, you know that I like to make my lessons practical for you so that you can practice what you've learned during the lesson. So are you ready to try it out? First sentence. You speak English good. Is it correct? You speak English well, because we are modifying the verb speak here in this sentence. What about your English is well? Is that right? This word is an adjective. We know because we can see the subject followed by the verb be. So I guess we could use well as an adjective, right? But English is a thing, not a person, so it doesn't make sense to say that English is in good health. We need to use good here. Your English is good. Let's try another. I want you to fill in the gaps. I'm having a day. Can you guess the correct word here? The adjective or the adverb? Good. We are modifying the noun day. I'm having a good day. But I want you to write a similar sentence with the adverb well, right? Write it in the comments now. You might need to change the verb in that sentence to help you. My day is going well. Now the adverb is modifying the verb, right? Good job. Did he do something on his exam? Well, we're modifying the verb do here. This rain is something for the garden. Good. Her job isn't something for her health. Careful. The word that goes in this space is good. Just because we're talking about health in the sentence doesn't mean we need to use well. You spoke at the conference. Good or well? You spoke well. I saw Jeremy last night. He looked... Well, here we could actually use the adjective good or the adjective well. Both are possible, but the meaning is different, right? Think about the difference in the meaning. Well means that he looked healthy. Good means that he was pleasant to look at, handsome. What about if I said, how are you? How would you answer that question? Would you say, I'm good or I'm well? It depends. Again, you could say either. You could use either adjective, but the meaning is slightly different. I want to finish up today's lesson with a fixed expression that seems to challenge these rules a little. This one, to get someone good, which means to trick someone or to fool them. So anyone who tricked their friend on April Fool's Day can say, I really got him good, which means you tricked him. I also want to mention before we finish that in informal spoken English, you'll hear native English speakers bending the rules a little. You'll hear them use good as an adverb. How's Tony going? He's going good. Now this is not actually grammatically correct, but it's reasonably common. And I really recommend that for you guys, you stick to the rules, play by the rules, especially if you are studying English to sit an exam. So in that sense, this is incorrect, but you'll hear it all the time. So that's it for today's lesson. I told you it was going to be short and sweet, and I hope it was helpful as well. There are lots of pairs of words like this in English, words that have similar meanings, but they're used differently in sentences. Can you think of any others? If you want me to make a lesson about any more of these pairs of words, then make sure you tell me about it in the comments. Tell me what pairs of words you want me to make a lesson about. Please do subscribe to the channel so that I can keep you up to date with all of my new lessons. And if you've got any special requests for future lessons, then make sure you let me know in the comments below. And once you do that, then come and find me in one of these two lessons here. I'll see you in there.